What's up, guys? By a specific request by a fella, uh, going through one of my, more recent videos for YouTube here, he requested, more attention to detail, kind
Team
of,
deathmatch. Get
uh,
out there. Promote the company.
there we go. I want to wait for those voice lines. But yeah, so more of attention to detail to certain guns. So I haven't really watched a whole lot of those, so I don't really know what's going to go ahead and like what they already covered. But I'll go over a couple of them that I seen right off the bat that when the game was first being announced, they were talking about like all these really cool, attention to the detail to certain guns. One of which is smoke coming out of the gun like it would in real life through correct areas. Now, one of the biggest guns to actually showcase this is the 7.25 shotgun, due to this here. Now you can see a bunch of smoke comes out the back end, and you can also see a little bit of smoke gets flicked up through the barrel. You can also see it kind of like drift from the barrel there as it moves side to side. It looks really cool. So it comes out there. I can also fire one shell and reload, and one comes out of one. So it looks really cool there, and I actually like that a lot. Another one is also, do a little bit of a magazine check for your gun, pull back the bolt. You can see the round inside the actual chamber there. So if I fire off my rounds, I want to have to go through all these. You can see the casing has been dropped out. So if I pull out the round and the magazine there, take that out. As you can see there, there's still one more round still left in the actual like magazine there, or not in the magazine, but actually in the chamber of the gun for you ready to fire. I pull out the magazine. There's nothing left in there, which is a really cool attention to detail because you can't have one round that's inside the magazine without one inside the chamber. So if I go over here, see, there's nothing in it. So I reload my gun. So it looks really cool there. So that's what I wanted to show there. So you have a bunch of really cool stuff like that. You also have a really cool thing, which I actually like them doing. They have different audio to certain guns when you're in different areas. Like obviously when I fire my gun, you can hear that bit of a crack through the sound, and it kind of echoes like as it goes throughout the air outside. If I go into a building though and fire inside of a small area, you don't really hear that as much. You can actually hear it kind of like bounce off the walls a little bit. It has a little bit of a different sound to it. So there we go. So there is a little bit of a different sound when you're inside of a building opposed to when you're not. So pretty muffled, a little bit louder outside. So there you go. So that's a little bit of a different sound for the actual gun. Well, while you're inside a building opposed to being outside the actual building. Empty magazines when it actually has one more round in the gun, and smoke coming out of the gun in the the correct areas, which is actually really cool. And there is one more. I also have a different class setup, and this is going to a really cool thing, which I really love them doing because I use this in a bunch of my class setups. But it is pairing ammo in the game. So my MP5, as you can see on the bottom right, has 30 rounds with 120 in reserve for its ammo pool, and it uses, like underneath its actual name of MP5, it says 9mm Parabellum, or 9mm round. Now, you can take a handgun, and this is the 1911. As you can see in the description, it says 45 ACP near the bottom. And now you compare that with like a Vector or the Chris Vector, and it'll give you the same ammo pool kind of deal. But what I'm going to be using is the semi-automatic 9mm pistol, which is the M19. So I'll put that on there, and I go back to my MP5. Now, as you can see, both of them have the same reserve ammo. So I have 30 in the magazine for my MP5, M19 with 17 rounds in it. Both of them have 68. So if I fire my gun once, or twice, I guess, and I reload, it's 66 rounds now. And when I switch to my handgun, 66 in reserve. Same deal there. So what I like to do, I like to go to my actual attachments, put on the largest magazine. In this case, it's a 32 round magazine, and fully loaded. Gives you 128. Now 128 is the max that you'll get in custom games. When you're actually like on a real online game, it does go up way above that, but that's for some reason what it maxes out at for 9mm. But as you can see, it went up a little bit for the stock ammo, back up to 128 instead of 68. And that's a really, really cool thing I like about all those guns. Now, you can pair it with other guns. It doesn't just work with an SMG. So if I go to like overkill, I can go over to a assault rifle. So the M. Okay.
Reloading. Stand by.
So M4A1.
On approach. Ready for tasking. What's your position? Roger, 7-1. Target acquired. Weapon free.
I don't know what's up with all those stuff there. But yeah, so we want to go with the M4A1. I don't know what the heck was up with all those voice lines going off like that. But you want to go for the M4A1 assault rifle. It doesn't say in the description, but it does shoot 5.56 rounds, which is like in this game for like the normal hitting assault rifles. That's what you use. This is the 5.56 round assault rifle, the M4A1. I can use a different gun, like I believe the M13 uses one, if I'm not mistaken. See if I can actually find a little bit better one. I know the Ram 7 does, so I'll pair that. So the M4A1 uses a 5.56 round for your assault rifle. And let's just show like this. So I'm going to put the AK-47. That one shoots a 7.62 round, which is a bit bigger. So you have the M4A1, 30 rounds, 120 in reserve. And you have 30 rounds in the AK, 120 in reserve as well, but they're not sharing the same deal because, you know, if I fire, it has 119. I switch, that one still has 120, just to show there. However, when I switch to the RAM, still has 120, 120, fire once. Both have 119 for each one. So that's what I mean. So you can pair it with actual assault rifles or like any kind of weapon. It doesn't just need to be with handgun, SMG. It will work for the Barrett 50 cal combined with the AX50. Any kind of gun that really uses the same ammo. And it will also work with the AK-47.
Detonation is good. Re-engaging.
So you could put the AK-47 with there.
That's too close to premises.
What is up with all those voice lines? Yeah, so you could do the AK-47, which shoots... Okay, those actually have a different one. They both shoot 7.62, but the AK shoots like a Soviet version, so I didn't know that. So let me see here. So you have the SCAR, the battle rifle, or SCAR H. This guy right here, so he shoots 7.62 NATO rounds, as you can see there in gold. And let me switch back to it. 7.62 NATO, right below the name there. And you can also pair it with the marksman rifle, the EBR-14, which also shoots 7.62 NATO rounds. As you can see, both of them now hold 80 in reserve. So you can really do that with any kind of weapon. If you really want to pair, like with more like stock ammo, that's what you that's what you can really do with all that. And it's actually pretty dang solid. So if I'm really running SMGs and stuff, I don't bother with like overkill and stuff. I'll just put a handgun and stuff on there and just, you know, have up to like several hundred rounds and stuff like that. So that's a really cool, what I really love for the attention to detail. I don't know if that one's been covered yet, but yeah, so I can't really think of any other ones. There's probably the ones I've seen is where when you fire a shell over, like, let's say the metal here, it makes different noises when your shell or your casing to your round hits the ground. So if I shoot my gun and I the shell pops out of the gun, it's going to hit the ground on the metal. It's going to sound like it's hitting metal. Or kind of like that. As you can hear there. So if I go over to wood, probably that's a little bit too loud for this gun. Let me see if I can go over here. There you go. Maybe, yeah, so when you fire your rounds, it's going to hit the ground. It sounds like concrete right there. And when you're over wood, you actually hear it, you know, like actually hit the wood plank if you couldn't hear it in the other room there. I may have my gun sounds a little bit too loud, so let me see if I'm able to get it like up on top of this container or something. Yeah, so there you go. So it also hits container and stuff like that. So it's really, really cool, especially like when you're over a puddle and stuff like that, or when you're in like any kind of water. Well, it's supposed to be able to hit there. I made it make the same noise and stuff like that. But yeah, so when you're over any kind of like wooden floor and you shoot your gun, it will actually, you know, hit the ground. It'll sound like it's hitting like, you know, the actual wooden floor, concrete. It'll do the same thing. What's really cool is that if you're too close to the wall where, you know, the ejection for the rounds are, well, I think I can get a little bit closer to it. You can kind of see them bounce off the wall there. So if I shoot, do you see them hit the wall and bounce off? So it's really cool. So they don't just eject out and then, you know, just fly off into like disappearing. They actually bounce off the wall, which is really neat. And yeah, so that's a really cool attention to detail. Now, I'd have to be burning a bunch of rounds, but if I'm able to do this, yeah, I'm not sure about that. You might have to have like a better gun or something, but normally when you fire like an RPG or big explosive or a large amount of rounds into a room, like while you're in it, you can get like a bunch of smoke and stuff kind of covering the area, and it kind of like fills the room with smoke for a brief period, which is really, really neat. Especially when you got yourself like a juggernaut suit and stuff, that will definitely fill the room with smoke a lot. So, I mean, that's attention to detail. I hope this one, you know, is a little bit more, I don't know, enjoyable. Especially when, you know, you got someone kind of going over all this stuff. I love these little attention to details because it's what got me into, like, you know, mostly just going over videos and stuff in this game, because they made it so dang cool with these kind of guns. And I love this kind of stuff because now I can be building some crazy looking stuff. So yeah, you know, this was a request from a guy off the comments here. Really up for anything in the videos. If you guys have any other suggestions and stuff, I'm really here to hear it. I really would love to see what you guys have. If you want me to go over any kind of like class build, anything like that, like any kind of certain guns, or set them up in a different way, maybe make a YouTube or make a video going off of that, trying to use that in action, you know, and actually on an online game, is I usually just make videos off of custom game and stuff, going over gun builds and class builds and stuff. But yeah, I can definitely put on some, you know, gameplay of me going online and stuff, if you guys would seem interested in that. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.